Are you married to an emotionally unstable alcoholic?
Or maybe you yourself are an emotionally unstable alcoholic. If you answer yes to either of those questions, have we got a story for you? Because, it's really helpful when you're in a difficult situation to realize you're not alone. So maybe we'll tell a story that perhaps you can relate to.
Mm-hmm. Now the story is something we can laugh about it now because we're so far removed, but in the moment it was laughable but infuriating to me.
And I can see why it would be infuriating.
Yes.
The part that's not laughable is that the story starts with the death of an IndyCar driver named Justin Wilson. He died August 23rd of 2015 at Pocono Raceway in a tragic racing accident. I watched a lot of IndyCar back then. You and I have been to the Indianapolis 500 many, many times. And this was just a devastating event in my life. For 2 weekends, the weekend that it happened and then the following weekend when they paid tribute to him, I cried and cried. In fact, I would say you would describe it wasn't like a sobby cry, it was like a bawling, like an emotionally bereft. I've never used the word bereft before.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. But I bawled over this tragedy, and I was so concerned about how this tragedy would certainly affect all the people in Justin Wilson's family. Super worried about Justin Wilson's family. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
I do. It tragedy happens, and when you're removed from it, you're not like connected to the family. Like there is a sadness, and I understand. Like I can cry about when I see stars or actors that I have watched like pass away, but the amount of concern that you had for his young family, his parents, like it seemed really unstable.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Hence the lead in of emotionally unstable alcoholic. As it turns out, while I was watching that race and the proceedings the following weekend, I was drinking beer, drinking more than one or two beers, probably too. So, as a fundraiser for Justin Wilson's family, they sold t-shirts. They were not cheap t-shirts, but I bought one for every member of my family. So 6 t-shirts.
6 t-shirts.
How much were they? Do you remember?
I think they were like $40 or $45 a t-shirt. And didn't give discount for youth because we had 4 kids.
Yeah.
Like one of them was 5.
As a cheapo, spending that's almost $300 on. It probably was over $300 by the time you added shipping. For a cheapo like me, that was a big investment. So I bought the t-shirts, spent all that money, cried for 2 weekends. And one of the things that you pointed out to me was, how ironic is this, that you can sit there and get so emotional about someone you've never met and have only watched on TV. And while it is a tragedy, it's not someone you're connected to. And you're losing your shit over there sitting in your recliner with your beer next to you. And yet you don't have just a minuscule amount of remorse or regret or grief or anything surrounding what you and your drinking is doing for your own family.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt?
Yeah. And my grandmother had passed away probably like 5 years before that. And I thought, I know she wasn't your grandmother, but she was in your life for a long time, and you didn't cry hardly at all.
You know why? I wasn't allowed to drink at her funeral. If only you'd let me drink at her funeral, then I would have been emotionally unstable at that one as well. That's the solution to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, just drinking. That's the solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was quite an event. If you can relate to that lack of emotional stability, either in yourself personally or in the person you're partnered up with, we want you to know that you're not alone. And is this a sign of alcoholism? Absolutely. Is this a sign that you'd be better off without alcohol in your life, whether you want to use the label of alcoholism or not? Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sherry?
Well, I was going to say, at the very least, you should consider how much you're consuming when you're, just sitting at home watching a race, like on TV.
Crying watching TV.
If you are consuming so much, like on a weekendly basis.
It was social drinking. It was me and all the people at the race drinking together.
So you had some buddies
I
there.
will never forget how irritated you were getting, especially when I plucked down that credit card and paid all that money for those t-shirts. And now I understand your own family wasn't getting the same consideration as some stranger's family.
Yeah.
But at the time, I thought you were the one that was emotionally unstable when you were really mad about my decision.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try to make up some of the lost money.
Yeah. If anybody would like to buy a gently used Badass Wilson, circa 2015.
2015, yeah.
You know,
Late
it's
summer
right here.
2015.
I won't charge you the $40. You know.
Yeah, send us an email or direct messages.
And because it has a curse word on it, I'm very limited to where I wear it.
Oh yeah, that was your other favorite part.
Yeah,
it says
was that
Badass Wilson, and
yeah,
I gave it to our kids.
That was his nickname, and it went on a lot of our kids' chests.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so get in contact with us, and we'll see about getting you a gently used Badass Wilson t-shirt. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to hear more of our opinionated ramblings, please check out the Untoxicated podcast.
And if you're more of the reading type, please go to soberandunashamed.com.
If you are picking up what we're laying down, maybe it's time that you find your tribe. Check out shoutsobriety.org or echoesofrecovery.org. We get what you're going through. You've got this, and we've got you.